all right. After a long hiatus, too long, some might say, it's Alex and Phil back with the Great Heavy Music Podcast. And today we're going to do first. Do you know what it is, Phil?
A first.
Yeah, it
Yeah, I
means
know
the
what a
first of
is.
something, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, well
Yup.
then, do you know what the first will be for us?
Yes, I think it's my first concert review.
Bing, 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 bing. All right, you nailed it. And I've been having
Man.
the pleasure of telling you about some of the shows I've seen. I'm intrigued to hear about your experience. So without further ado,
Yeah.
don't make these good paying listeners that are not
Ugh.
paying, but don't make them wait.
Oh, they will be.
Yeah, they'll pay dearly.
One way or another. I always get mine. All right, so the other day, on the 29th of August, I went to see My Chemical Romance and an opening band, Devil Master. So, obviously My Chemical Romance, not the heaviest band, but I think they have catchy songs. And I was like, my girlfriend, she's so into them or was back in the day. So it's a bit of a nostalgia tour, and they had actually been on hiatus or broken up really since like 2013. Yeah, that's the opening band.
I'm showing Phil a copy of a cover of the album Ecstasies of Never Ending Night, a 2022 release by Devil Master. I never heard of these guys. Have you heard of them before you went to go see the show?
No, I'll get right into them. Okay, that's the opening band. I wanted to say that this whole thing was like a nostalgia thing for like people that are like middle-aged or like us who listen to them, and also young kids or like teens that were like just not getting into them because they're almost like the Cure, like when we were young, like, oh, they're sort of retro now.
Right.
Anyway, so it's a whole group of people that I think are mostly into pop punk and soft type stuff. So when this Devil Master band came out, it was so awesome because, okay, I knew that this band was a black metal band because I looked them up beforehand. I was like, that sounds kind of interesting. Wonder what they're about. Thinking they'd be like a Ghost kind of band,
right.
Like a poppy goth.
Because of the makeup?
Yeah, and just because of who they were with on the tour.
Right.
Like, they're probably going for some pop rock type stuff. So I looked them up and on the Encyclopedia Metallica, and it said black metal / punk, and I was like, oh, this is going to be fun, interesting. So anyway, so they opened up. So they come out and they start the corpse paint. The guy puts on like a cape, and I'm like, here we go. Everyone, I think, is probably like, I mean, I'm sure people knew about it, looked them up, but I don't think they knew what to expect. And they come out with this ridiculously good opening riff. It's actually on the album that you just showed me. I think it's called, it's like Enthralled by the Sounds of Death or something like that. I can't remember exactly.
Enamored in the Throes of Death. That's the one I'm playing right here.
Yeah. And excellent opening riff, by the way.
Right here.
It almost sounds, thrashy to me.
Yeah. I'm liking it.
Yeah, and it sounded great live. I don't know if that's in part the acoustics. It's the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia. I should have said where we went. But it's just the acoustics of that place. Both bands sounded excellent. These guys sounded great. I mean, it was crisp. It was clear. And he's got great vocals. And, so they're jamming out. And at first, everyone, I think, is kind of like, what the fuck? Because he starts screaming.
Are we at the right show?
Yeah. But then slowly they're kind of into it. They start not, I guess it's part like you came here to see all this. You paid money. You might as well enjoy it. And I think some of them genuinely liked it. It was a bit of a mixed crowd. So Cody and I, it was seats. It wasn't like we weren't down in the pit. We were seated, assigned seats. And, this like mom or grandma and her like, it looked like an 8-year-old girl came in. They were sitting next to us. And, I'm like, this little kid is totally has no idea about this kind of music probably. And it's probably like, oh my God. But after a while, I looked over at them and the little kid was nodding her head to it.
Yeah, buddy.
And I was like, how metal is that? So there wasn't any moshing, which I was like, you should have moshed. This is a mosh band if you want it. Totally.
Right. On the Metal Cruise, this is Mosh Central, but at the My Chemical Romance show, probably not.
Right. So anyway, they played this. They played like, I don't know, probably 6 songs. I think most of them are from the album you just showed me. I don't think I heard anything from the album before that, which I want you to look at the name right now.
Okay.
of their first full-length album. and
All
just
right.
read it out loud.
I'm going to pull it up. I'm going to slide down to it. The cover art looks to be like some sort of woman devil bat creature with their legs sprawled and dragons, and it's called Satan Spits on Children of Light.
I love it. When I saw that, I was like, these guys are going to be at the My Chemical Romance concert. Anyway, I don't think any songs are from that. I mean, I did a really quick run through. I could be wrong, but anyway, they were jamming out. They sounded great. The second album definitely better than the first. From what I listened to, I'm going to take a look at these guys and actually, keep my eye on them in the future and see what kind of stuff they're coming out with, because it's a little thrashy. It is a little punky. It's sort of defiant, and their riffs are really good. They sound kind of like atmospheric like at times. It has this overarching kind of echoey, cool riff.
Well, good on My Chemical Romance for doing that. I think that's so cool that they kind of picked a more like
absolutely,
hardcore opener than themselves, maybe to say, I don't know, it could mean a lot of things, but I just think that's cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna submit that for That's So Metal, or My Chemical Romance for choosing a black metal band to open for.
Yeah, really, that's a great point. So, can you tell the listeners a little bit about what My Chemical Romance was? I mean, how was that? Because I think we probably all heard the hits.
Yeah, I think we've all heard. The Welcome to Black Parade was probably their peak in pop, in the charts. But they had plenty of hits before that, and they had an album after that had some hits on it. They broke up in 2013. They announced the reunion tour in 2019, and Cody and I were supposed to go to it in like 2020, but COVID happened, so it got postponed like 2 fucking years. And they just obviously they honored all the tickets and everything. So we go, and we went, and it was worth the wait. It sounded great. I mean, it was packed, full of people. I think it was sold out. Sure looked like it. Full of those goth kids from high school.
Yeah, buddy.
Dude, it was just fishnets and makeup and blue hair and all.
Doc Martens all over the place.
Yeah, buddy. It was, if you're into that stuff, it was you're letting your flag fly on that one. I mean, that's
love
all.
it.
I didn't really dress like that. I wore my Headbangers Ball t-shirt just because, and I wore like normal pants, so I wasn't that fun. But I'm a little older. I was definitely older than a lot of the crowd. But there was a lot of people my age that grew up listening to them, so I didn't feel too out of place. But anyway, they did a good job. They came out and they played all their big hits. Every song I wanted to hear, they played. The song Helena's amazing. They played that. They played Welcome to Black Parade, of course. I felt bad because Cody had to go pee real quick, and as soon as she went to go pee, they started playing that song.
Love it.
Run out. Yeah, of course, right? That's like one of the big songs for to hear. It sounded great. The lead singer, Gerard Way, had so much energy. Looked healthy, great, running around on stage. Looked like they never stopped. I mean, I was impressed by. I'm sure they practiced and all, but I was impressed by how they were able to just pretty much jump back in and just kick ass. He's 45 years old. I didn't know that. He didn't look like it.
Unbelievable. Yeah, I never would have guessed that ever.
Yeah. And so everybody, we stood up like the whole time. Everybody was singing. I'm obsessed with popcorn, so I was eating it the whole time. I mean, it was a problem. I wanted to sit back down so I could eat it.
You were elbow deep in a bucket of popcorn listening to these guys.
It was I had like a stomachache the next day, and I knew it was going to happen. I just don't care. I'll kill myself eating popcorn if that's what comes. If I would.
You're like a dog that gets into some treats. You just can't stop. There's no way you're stopping that.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. If you tried to drown me in popcorn, I think you would fail. I think I would eat my way out of it, and then I might die later from like whatever.
Right, sodium. Back up the dump truck, just dump it on Phil, and he's gonna eat his way out. You can't bury him.
Have you ever seen The Simpsons where he's in hell and they're trying to kill him with donuts, like overfeed him, and he just doesn't stop eating it?
That's a great idea, though.
Getting annoyed. Yeah. But anywho, besides that, I was jamming out. There was just a hint of a mosh pit down in there. They're doing the circle-y thing, a little bit of pushing, nothing too wild. I did see a surprising amount of crowd surfing.
Oh yeah, okay.
So I'll give them points for that. But they played.
Pretty full house.
Yes.
Great.
Big time full house.
I mean, it's just cool to me that there's enough people in the world out there who listen to music that's alternatively not just pop and rap. That's great. I'm happy there was an arena full of people to hear music like that.
Yeah, and you know what? It makes me think like, okay, so My Chemical Romance hasn't been on the radio in force in years, probably years and years. And yet there were all these young people there too. And I was like, how did they get into My Chemical Romance? I always wonder. And it just goes to show that, like, you know, if you're a legit band, no matter, even if you were part of like a fad type of genre that was out for a while, if you're legit, you know, word of mouth and replays and everything will carry you through generations. And so I was really inspired by that. But that was wild.
Very cool.
You know what I mean?
I agree with you. There's no substitution for quality. When you go to see somebody and they're great live, they perpetuate and they just continue to roll. And, you know, so if it's not the radio, it's YouTube. But if it's not YouTube, it's Spotify.
Yeah.
If it's not Spotify, it's Apple Music. But people, they share the word.
Right. And that goth sort of, or pseudo goth, whatever group of people, the emo people group in society, they're probably like legendary. You know, they're always going to be probably on the Mount Rushmore of their bands. Like, there's always going to be talked about. So that's pretty cool. I mean, they don't consider themselves an emo band or whatever, but they are. I mean,
right.
And
I've never purchased any of their albums. I've never actually held one of their CDs in my hand, and I've probably heard this song and maybe Helena, and I like them, but I don't know anything other. Is this pretty much the same, all clean singing, no growling, of course, I would imagine, right?
No growling. There's some screaming parts.
Okay.
There's sort of that screamo type stuff. Not growls, nothing guttural. But there's, you know, there are parts where it's mildly heavy and definitely some screaming. So it's fun. It was a good.
It's
live.
pop, punk, rock combo, something like that.
Exactly.
Great.
Yep.
It sounds to me kind of like an AFI. I mean, I love AFI, and it's not that far.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah. Anyway, that's the concert. It was cool. I'm supposed to go see In Flames with Joey on the 10th of September.
Shout out to Slow Joe.
Slow Joe. We can do another episode about In Flames, who I've never seen live, and I'm excited to see them. I know they're going to play a lot of probably newer shit that I haven't heard, but if they play anything off of that Clayman album, I'm going to have a boner.
Yep, Rager. Well, I saw them once before as a youngster, and I love them, and I would love to talk with you about your experience versus my experience, because I would be excited to see how the time has treated them, because you say the lead guy in My Chemical Romance is 45. The lead guy of In Flames, that guy's got to be 60 or mid-50s. Well, I mean, when did the first In Flames album come out that was crushing it? Like 91?
Mid-90s.
Yeah, or 92. I mean, so that's 30 years ago exactly. So if the guy started at 20, he's 50. I mean, I would bet you dollars of donuts the guy's got to be middle 50s.
Yeah, he still dresses like he's like 22 and rebelling against his parents probably. But anyway.
Well, all right, listen.
Kudos to In Flames. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm glad My Chemical Romance was awesome. I'm glad their opener was a death metal band that shocked the consciousness of all these 8-year-old kids in the stadium. But that's so cool that they did that.
Super metal of them to do that. I was impressed by that. Definitely jumped up a few notches in my book as far as being legit. Yep. That's so cool. So yeah, there it is. That's the concert I went to.
All right. The first ever episode of the Great Heavy Music Podcast, where the only Phil Collins in the world tells you about his experience at a live rock/metal show, and I think it went pretty damn good. So until next time, Phil, we'll see each other soon.
All right, buddy.